and of course something happened. Yes, it was a system that with regional governments, each region controlling its resources and paying, something to the center to sustain, the military, sustain all the common things. But something happened in January 15, 66, that changed us into the structure that we have now found ourselves. And that's like the building block to what we later had, in the 1979 Constitution. We tried to experiment on the American system of government, which is the presidential, and then, and that Constitution, was sort of fashioned after the American system. And that is what I think has become the building block to the present system that we now, a lawyer is here, you'll find out that the 1999 Constitution, sort of takes a lot from the 1979 Constitution that we have. But a lot of things, a lot of people have clamored for restructuring. And I know that there is a great deal of heavy lifting that needs to be done when you talk about nation building and nationhood. But before we look at the word restructuring, because Prof has said something. My worry is that when you take about 100 persons asking for restructuring and you put them in a room, as it were, currently, you will have 100 different versions of what they are talking about or what they mean by restructuring. So which I see that like a kind of what we call the Tower of Babel, many talks about restructuring. Now, it's time we looked intently at the structure, and the Constitution that we have, and look at the possibilities within the Constitution, rather than always sitting back and saying that let us wait until we restructure the country. Let me give you an example. Sometime when we started this current republic, in the Fourth Republic, Lagos State government ventured under Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu then, ventured to have 37 local government, 37
LCDs.
Development areas,
yeah.
In addition to the 20 local government areas, making 57, and went on to conduct election. The 37 development areas were creation of the law, Lagos State House of Assembly, and what then happened was that the federal government of the then Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the president wrote to his finance minister that they should henceforth withhold, the monthly allocation to the local governments in Lagos State. What did Lagos State do? Lagos State did not just say, now it's time to restructure the country. Let us go ahead and restructure, and all this. What did they do? They looked at the possibilities within the law, and went to court. And the Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment, coincidentally, the Attorney General of Lagos State at that time is the current acting president.
Yeah, but Mr. Fashakin, for your political party, for example, which one of the first statements in your manifesto, which says that it will devolve power and oversee how the nation will restructure. At this time, is constitution amendment the right thing to do right now by the Nigerian Parliament, considering what, as we have said on this table right now, what the benchmark of the issue of restructuring is, the Clamour? Is constitution amendment the right way to go?
Yes, I will tell you that within the current scenario that we have right now, we have a government that came, yes, determined to do many things that were wrong within the polity. I mean, corruption and a lot of other things. And then constitutional amendment, as it were. I mean, of course, we don't have a perfect constitution, and that we recognize, and we all know as a people, there are areas that we need to look at, and of course, that is what constitutions all over the world, are meant to be. Look at American Constitution, came into being in 1789, and I think as at 2013, it had gone through 29 amendments. So it's not a new thing.
All right. Let me bring the lawyer here. Mr. GT, just before we go on break, give us an idea of, does it look like a jamboree, the current constitution amendment process? The 7th Assembly couldn't achieve it.
It's always looked like a jamboree, and it's time wasting, and it's unavailing. I've always supported a real constitution making process and state reconstruction. I can't be an incrementalist or a gradualist or a pragmatist on this matter. The idea that something that is as imperfect as this constitution should be tolerated and managed, and that perhaps over time it will be good, it's unavailing. It's like we tolerating cancer in a patient, and it spreads and metastasizes and then kills the patient while we are applying palliatives. It's not going to work.
Mr. Ogunze, I'd just like to pause you for 1 minute because we need to take a breather. And when we return, we ask the question, what exactly are we restructuring? We'll begin the conversation with the lawyer, Mr. Ogunye, and my panelists on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back.